I just feel like I'm in a fever dream right now. Like, is this real? Is this happening? Did I step through a portal and like, where am I right now? You know? And it's just something that we don't get surprised anymore. Yeah. And so it's just like an environment for as adults to like play again and be present with people and have conversations and build new friendships, right? In this very intimate space that, you know, is kind of like here and then it's gone. You wake up the next morning, you're like, what just happened? Yeah. Where did I go? Like, what did I just experience?
How we felt this morning. You know? Right. Session last night.
Welcome back to Everybody Loves Naples. Today we are joined, well, actually, we are visitors inside the Sugarshack, original shack, the Sugarshack Experience, the VIP room, as we have learned to call it. We are joined by Julia and Bryce with the Sugarshack Experience.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. I'm so excited to dive on and let's just high five all around. Hell yeah. So today we're going to talk about, everyone knows, you know, Sugarshack downtown. I'm sure you've been there, but where it all started, kind of the heartbeat of the Sugarshack music channel, where it all takes place. And as Jay mentioned earlier, the Bonita's best kept secret. So
for real. It has been. I mean, the deck is directly to my right, to Natalie's left, and in front of Julia and Bryce. We're right next to it, and this is actually Eddie and Lisa's previous bedroom, now the VIP room. But I remember my first, you know, origin story with the Shack long before I met any of the amazing people that call it home. Was I was scrolling on Instagram when I first moved down, and like I figured that was like the easiest way to like figure out what the heck is going on in the area. And when I searched, you could at the time you could search by location, and all the top posts would come up. And like I just kept seeing these really beautiful shots in Florida greenery, old Florida vibes, and I just couldn't figure out like what's happening? Yeah. Where is this? Like, how do I get involved with that? And like I kind of let that pass. Kind of heard of like the Sugarshack name, but like I followed because I'm like, whoever those people are, they're my people. Like it was very evident that that was something for me. But it's still the secret. How do I get involved with that? You know,
it's hard to argue. Everyone on this team is our people, and I feel like everybody watching, listening, who's been a part of it, who's come to a session, who's come to the downtown, anything, that you guys are so welcoming as a team. We feel honored to have you on, and I can't wait to share about what this session is like, because when I came a couple weeks ago, I was like so taken back. I thought I knew by watching the channel, by talking to you guys. No.
Everybody thinks they know until they come.
Yes, it's just like,
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Especially too now with the opening of downtown, people are like, oh, I've been to the Shack. You're like, You've been to downtown.
Have you been to an experience though? Have you been to a session though?
What was like? Oh, it was pretty. There's good band on stage and the drinks were okay. Blah blah blah. You're like, I don't think you went to the Shack. I think
ticketed. These are ticketed events, you guys. This is a VIP kind of intimate, very intimate experience. So we're gonna get into that now, kind of from the glue of the team, Bryce and Julia, who are in it, heads in the sand every day, putting this together. So. And Julia, in your words, how do you explain a session?
How much time do you have? I would say a session is an incredibly, like you said, intimate experience. We're calling it a backyard speakeasy, where you gather around with the deck right in front of you, a band from anywhere. We have traveling bands, global traveling bands, regional traveling bands, some local bands coming through. Everything is a mystery until you get here. You don't know the band, you don't know the menu, you don't know the cocktails, and really you don't know the people truly. I mean, we make ourselves available online and through, you know, our channels and stuff, but you really don't know the people until you get here either. So it's really like a discovery experience on all levels. And I'm sure Bryce has also his own definition of it too.
Yeah, I think Julia nailed it. It's, you know, we're trying to make this the ultimate backyard speakeasy, right? And so it is this place of community at the same time of all of that going on, right? Sugarshack for 12 years has been recording bands and posting these videos on YouTube as like a session channel, right? And
Professionally recorded.
that's right.
The whole team is videographers and musicians.
Like
Right?
highest quality.
That's right.
This isn't just like pull it out of your, just to clarify.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Cinematic level, videography, capturing and recording bands in this like very stripped down setting. Sugarshack is an acoustic music channel. So bands have to kind of like come and break their format down and use acoustic instruments, acoustic guitars, and they get squeezed onto this back patio deck that's like literally 10 by 10 in this like, old Florida home, this shack home. And so I know we'll dive into the history of it more, but really, the Sugarshack Experience is experiencing not just like the music, the food, and the drinks, but like also the community, the decade plus community that has been developing and cultivating here, kind of in secret behind the scenes, off the grid, if you will. And I think that's what makes it so special and magical, But yeah, I think in a nutshell, they are like it's like the ultimate musical discovery experience. You don't know who's playing.
That
That's my Instagram bit, my real bit right there.
Yeah.
You don't know who's performing when you show up, and that's what makes it so special and so surprising. And you're not really here to see a concert. It's really experiencing our community and the production side of it. You're on this production set. Every guest that arrives has to sign like a photo video release. You're like on a video production set while you're also immersed into this like, backyard speakeasy environment. So it's something that's very unique, and truthfully, we don't know anyone else that's doing something like this. So it's really special what we've developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can speak for both of us when we've been on a lot of sets for various reasons, whether you're behind the camera, in front of the camera. I mean, when I came a couple weeks ago, like I said, I was like, holy crap. Like I knew, but I didn't know, really. I mean, you guys have all kinds of, gimbals. And I mean, it's just, it comes to life, and yet it doesn't feel like you're in the way. I feel like when I was here, yes, it's quiet on set. We're recording, 8 songs, 9 songs. Is that right? About
7 to 8.
7 to 8, recorded tracks. And it's like quiet on set, but you can still have your time. It's not like, okay, get out of the way now. And I don't belong here. It was like, no, we need our live audience to make this feel like everybody had like played a part.
Yeah.
Which made the audience, being an audience member, like so much more special. And
there's lots of ways to go about that too, right? I feel like the artist, I don't know about your experience, but my experiences have been very much like the artist is stoked to have this kind of friendly family environment, that they're always like, let's throw in like you guys sing this lyric, or you guys shout out this thing, or whatever. And then obviously there's the clapper too, which is a huge honor if you ever come to the shack and you ever get to be on the clapper, to actually be in between takes. But yeah, it's so inclusionary from A to Z.
I love that word. Inclusionary.
Inclusionary.
I like it.
But exclusionary up until you get here.
Exactly.
So buy a ticket, guys.
Buy a ticket.
I have to say,
Once I think, it's always been a very exclusive thing, right? Until you get here, and then you do get to experience and have access to, the community that we've been developing.
And then some people feel so included that they keep coming back.
Right.
We have, the infamous Larry and Michelle have now been to 34 sessions.
That's right.
What?
We'll throw up a photo of those too.
Yeah.
34 sessions. They're amazing.
How many?
Oh man, I don't even know if we have like a count off the top of our head, but we've been doing
350 to
this
400, right?
Well, we've been doing experiences for 4 years now.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're definitely well over 100, probably close to.
Damn, so they've been to a
200.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah.
Larry and Michelle, shout out.
They came out of retirement to keep working, to make money, to come to more sessions. They're incredible. They're incredible people. But it's like people, and just last night we had a couple who was just here like the last 2 sessions. And so it's like we just can't stop. Like we have to keep, like we feel like you guys are our people now.
Yeah.
And we feel the same about everybody. It's so nice when you see a familiar face return to the Shack, whether it's been like a couple sessions since or even like a year. It's oh my gosh, you made it back. That's awesome.
Right.
And so we feel that same amount of community with everyone who joins us for these sessions. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat because when we were waiting at the, to get picked up in the golf cart, you kind of meet downtown Bonita and you take a short ride over to the Shack. And, this is 2 miles from my house, right? And so, and Robbie and I were coming for the first time and stoked, but the people that we met, a majority of them were like, no, we're just here for this. Like, we've never been to Southwest Florida. We have no idea what else is here. We're just here for this because we've been following the channel for years. And it's not that hard to wrap my head around, but the fact that I live here, that we live here, and it should be that big of a deal to everybody. And that really let it sink in for me. Like, oh shit, they have a cult following. Like, like these are my homies.
Watch
and
out.
I love the concepts, but like for real, I think at least 5 different couples out of the 10 that we met, not even, were not from Southwest Florida. Like they came in just for this.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what else are you doing here? They're like, I don't really know. Do you have any suggestions? I was like, yes, but definitely enjoy,
Yeah.
You
It
asked the
was
right
cool.
person.
Yeah. Even a couple from Jupiter were here. And I'm like, oh, I've been to Jupiter a bunch of times. It's not that far, like, coast to coast. They're like, no, we've been to Sarasota, and like, that's it. And I'm like, okay, if you're here for this is a big deal,
Yeah.
which I knew, but then I really knew.
No, you're-
How many tickets do you sell per event?
We sell 32 tickets
Okay.
to each Sugarshack experience. So intentionally, the space is very small and intimate, 12 of those tickets are like a GA plus with like upgraded seating and drink service. And then we sell 20 GA, high top, tabletop
Okay.
type things. Yeah.
Cool.
But-
And I feel like there was at least 20 of the team here, the crew. I feel like each guest when I was here, like I had undivided attention. Like there was enough staff and enough of the team for everyone to like get their needs met no matter what they were,
Yeah.
which is like insane.
And not that you're not a VIP, but you were in GA, so imagine being in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
This little room right
Yeah,
here.
that's right.
I'm here now.
yeah. She made it.
Cocktails, please. No.
Cool. Yeah, so we've talked about the pitch, kind of, what your experience is around kind of being the glue. Tell us a little bit more about how it all started. Sugarshack Music Channel, the deck. Where did it begin? We've heard from Eddie and Dave when we had them
From
on.
their perspective.
But I'm so curious to know what you guys
As
he
the
went through.
latecomers.
Yeah. How late were you actually? Like, how long?
I'm
into
probably
sessions?
the newest member of the team in the greater scope of things.
Yeah.
And I came on 4 years ago.
Yeah. You're getting your years in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Sugarshack started 12 plus years ago. Eddie started that. This was his home, him and Lisa's home. Eddie's the founder and creative director for Sugarshack Music Channel. And so you can go back to that episode and kind of hear the details of that origin story. But, essentially him being so like well connected with bands and artists, found some passion and creativity in filming and recording bands that, would hit him up and want a music video, some local bands like SoFlo back in the day and things like that. And I think, as he started to see some of these like shot compositions on his like backyard patio deck, he was like, man, I might be onto something here. We should start a session channel. There were some other channels that were like very inspirational to him on YouTube at the time. And so he pulled his closest friends together. And like one by one, they would just slowly over the years were able to kind of quit their day jobs and find sustainability with Sugarshack and recording artists and things like that. And then as that went on, about 8 years into that process, and as the fan base grew online, they would just get blown up in their inbox like, how can I come to a Sugarshack session? Is it possible? Where is it? How do I get there? And they just never really felt like they had the right team configuration to facilitate it. This space has developed a ton. Like,
I can only imagine.
when I started coming, there was no driveway. It was all dirt gravel. There was no covering pergola, pavilion space. There was nothing. It was very, very shacky. And
so was all of downtown Bonita.
That's right. At the time, yeah.
I mean, as Naples
That's
kids, we went to the Flamingo Island, the flea market. That was the only time I was in Bonita.
Literally ever.
Right? Like Flamingo Island. That was how I knew Bonita. So like I can only imagine what this residential area looked like.
Yeah. And so, about 4 or 5 years ago, I met the team through Narrative Coffee Roasters at the time. Our buddy Caleb McPherson, who was running it at the time, was kind of the connecting point for all of that. And
shout out Caleb. Take Two
Caleb's
Coffee.
the man.
Out
Take Two
Caleb
Coffee
and
now.
her.
Absolutely. Them our boys. And so, yeah, I think they got to know my background a little bit and thought that I'd be a good fit for this. And so they brought me on to basically like open the doors to the public and activate an experience thing. We started with like 10 tickets and just really started easing our way into it. Learned a lot as we went through summer sessions and got poured on, and
This was how long ago in the timeline? What year?
This is about 4 years ago. So I would say like 2022 was when, I believe May of 2022 was our first ever experience that we.
So we're like coming out of the pandemic,
yeah,
if you will. I mean, I know it was a little bit different in Southwest Florida than the other parts of the country, but like that's pretty ballsy, right? I mean, like let's host this thing where people come together for the first time. I mean, it was outside and all that, but that's interesting. Okay, so it feels
and to your
recent.
point, Natalie, to your point, like I think there was such a hunger out of COVID for authenticity and connection that was a big part of the charge, the initial momentum charge that, people had probably felt pretty lonely coming out of that. And now we're opening doors to this like supercharged, authentic community connection space,
right?
And I think that just started to generate a lot of momentum and word of mouth about what we do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine you got a huge, burst of a following during the pandemic when everyone's like trying to get entertained online and, all this discovery. And then it's like, okay, doors are open for 10 tickets. Come get one.
That's right.
And so you came on 4 years ago. Where are you from? I hear an accent.
Well, it's funny. I was born in Miami.
What?
So I was.
Yes, that's the accent you're hearing.
No, I was thinking like Gainesville or like something like.
Cuban my family all has Southern roots. My mom's from like West Virginia.
Okay.
Some of my dad's side of the family's from Georgia, right?
Okay.
So we're definitely have like Southern
Go
roots to us.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I was born in Miami in the hustle and
way.
bustle of that. We lived in Orlando for a while, but I'm like a Florida boy.
Florida boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I get the Florida boy. That's what I thought, maybe like somewhere like a little more swampy.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Miami
Yes,
can
dude,
get,
swamp.
Everglades can get pretty
That's
swampy.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
true.
very true.
They're country folk out there.
Yeah.
Just hop off 75. You'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so you were brought on to kind of make this session idea come to life. They're like, Bryce, we want to do this. Help us.
Yeah. My background, it's interesting, and I don't know if you guys know this, but like probably makes a lot more sense now, but like I was a pastor for almost a decade before entering into this career.
That is so cool.
Just bringing people together has always been a big passion of mine. Developing, cultivating community, authentic relationships, seeing people's lives changed for positive growth and things like that. So this was like a no-brainer. I kind of came from like the mega church world.
Sure.
And so I was used to facilitating like large scale events and things like that. So when they kind of tapped me on the shoulder and they were like, think you could, help us like facilitate events for like
For 10
10
tickets?
people? I was like, I got you boys. I got you.
That's
No
awesome.
problem. So it's been cool to see how like everything that I learned in that part of my life, I've been able to apply here and obviously channel, like, our mission here is music related, it's community related, but yeah, to just like cultivate community through this instead. Yeah.
And obviously, Julia, I've known you for
Forever.
and I've known you
Mind me
always.
too? No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like even in high school it was like, event planning.
Yeah.
Like you have a knack for that, and I know you do that outside of session with practice yoga and other things. She's an amazing yoga teacher. So you guys,
Thank you.
yeah, so good. But how did you kind of weave into this?
I have a very interesting relationship with all of the guys individually. It's very strange. Like, it's kind of kismet how it all kind of came together.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately it came down to, I was working with Claudia, Bryce's wife, and Lisa, Eddie's fiance.
Okay.
And Bryce was, I believe, building his team for experiences. And he came into where we were working and he was like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Yeah," because and we know Alex Casement from high school. Alex and I have been friends since we were 14. And so I obviously knew of Sugarshack, and of course, like, being around Claudia and Lisa, had always been hearing
Like
about
Barrett,
it, talking about it.
same-
Yeah, just music in general has always been super important to me. And so, of course, I knew of what was happening. And Barrett, Barrett, there's so many intertangling storylines. And so Bryce came in and he was like, "I think you'd be a nice fit for what we're trying to build." And so I was like, okay, yeah, obviously no brainer. I'm going to go in there and see what's up. And it was just like, even then, that was September of that same year. September of 2022 was my first session working. And walking in, no pergola. There's still no pergola at the time. Somehow functioning
Maybe some
without
tree
a pergola.
canopies or something like that.
Yeah. I believe so, if my timeline is correct. So I just immediately was like, this is the coolest thing I have ever been a part of ever. Like, knew what the guys were up to, knew, the channel, and had been long supporting it, but to, like, actually step in here and, like, have a hand in everyone's experience of it was like, it totally made sense for me. I was never someone who, like, knew what they wanted to do when they grew up. Like, I'd always just made shit up.
Right.
And so, can I curse?
Oh, yeah.
I made shit up.
Do you know what podcast you're on yet?
I just want to be sure. Yeah, we can bleep that.
Yeah, we make it up as we go.
But I was always like, yeah, I guess I want to do this. I guess I want to do that. And obviously found yoga. It's the greatest love of my life behind music.
Yeah.
Well, alongside music probably. And so as soon as I got brought on, it made sense. And then it just continued to be like, all right, we're doing more. We're doing more. We need more. We need to do more. And it's like the whole channel, from the lens of me, of only seeing it like in person of up to 4 years ago, it's crazy that we're now, like, sitting here selling 32 blind tickets, people flying in. We had a lady fly in from Bahrain to come to a session.
Where is this?
Middle East somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We had 2 guys from Argentina.
Canada.
I mean, people
New Jersey, that's far.
and they're like, I
mean,
Might as well be a
I
different
flew,
country.
California,
I flew in
Texas,
for
Ohio,
this,
yeah.
Literally.
And I mean, I remember one of my very first sessions, we had a guy come in and he just he landed at the front and he put his hands on his thighs and he's like, "I've lived 3 blocks over for the last 10 years. I've been watching you guys. I thought you were in California and you guys have been 3 blocks away from me the entire time."
Wow.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
And so just to Bryce's point, being a part of creating experiences like that for people that they are never going to forget, from the perspective of community, music, locality, being a local kid. I've always wanted to leave and never come back, and then I came back and I stayed, and I'm so glad I did.
Right? I'm just like, oh, damn.
all of high school,
Yeah.
what do we say? Like, I'm leaving this place and never coming back.
Yeah.
And now I think Sugarshack specifically has created an environment that you don't want to leave.
Right.
Like, you're a part of something and you're so close to something. It's like, why would I want to give this up? And
Right.
just like the reach that it has created in the Southwest Florida area has been phenomenal for a local. Like, I get emotional about it. Like, seeing our hometown be like celebrated all around the world, and like there's something so cool about that. So,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And everyone on the team and everyone who is a guest here, and honestly, you know, beyond just in our community in general. I mean, this is what our podcast is about, is community, right? And like, from a kid who like, yeah, I never hated it, but I was like, oh, there's so much more out there. Yeah. And then you come back and it's like, oh shit, we live in a cool place.
Yeah.
And then you have things like Sugarshack and the experience and the staff and the team, and everyone is so cool that you're like, oh yeah, I live here. Like, there's not, it's not old anymore.
Right.
It's actually fresh and new, and like, it's got so much personality to it that part of me is like, maybe that was here all along, and like, it just took our generation to like pull it out.
Right.
Do you know? And so it's really cool to watch. And I remember the first time I saw Sugarshack music channel, I was in LA and I was around musicians all the time. And someone had it on, and I was like, at first person I recognized was Alex Casement. I was like, oh my God, I went to high school with him. And I was like, this had to be in 2016. And I was like, what is this? And then lo and behold, I'm like, well, Alex still lives in Naples. Like, I was like, okay, this must be there. And then kind of forgot about it for a while. And then when I moved back, I was like, oh shit, this is actually, because same thing. It felt like a California, not only the production level, right? Like, they know they can produce out there. We all know that. But to bring that here, it just kind of opened the door for even, you know, our small production. It's like, there's shit happening in other places, and this is happening right here. And I feel like every local should brag about it, know about it, experience it.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind.
I'll tell you what, it's so fun going to the airport in other cities across the world and seeing merch. I'm like, right there, dog, right there. Almost like immediately too. I mean, granted, some of them are locals, right? I'll be going to the same gate as them, and I'm just like, oh, I know where you're headed. You're headed home.
You're headed home. RSW. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But you see it places.
Yeah. I was wearing a Sugarshack sweater on a flight. This was like maybe a few years ago, and the stewardess was like, Sugarshack. She was like, me and my daughter watch them all the time. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, and it was like, I think I was like in the Northeast somewhere. Like, I mean, who knows where she was from, but it was like, there's reach. Like, there's a global community that has started right here in Bonita, which is just the coolest thing ever.
I want to touch on, I know it started, and correct me if I'm wrong, but mostly reggae music.
Yeah.
Reggae was, you know, the vibe, and the music is obviously great. I grew up listening to reggae. It's when I think of boat music, that's what I think of always, beach music. But as the channel has evolved and this whole deck and session experience has evolved, you're now doing all kinds of music.
That's
Everything.
Yeah, we're an all genres platform, right? And we have so much respect for our roots, but at the end of the day, we're a music channel, and so we're really starting to expand in our genres and our reach, and it's an exciting new time. You know, I think really the only criteria for music on our channel is that it has to be stripped down in an acoustic format.
Sure.
You know, and so if artists and bands can get creative and do that, then they're welcome here, you know?
Okay.
And so it's been cool. Now, in saying that, like, there's always, if you go back and look at the catalog of the music channel, you'll find the like niche underground, you know, bluegrass and folk and Americana, artists and bands all throughout there. So it's always been a part of what we do. I think we're now just trying to really see that side flourish and grow now and expand into like various genres.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are listening to folk, Americana, bluegrass again now. You know, I mean, reggae they're all popular, right? But we were just talking about Noah Khan. Like, that music is so great to see it here. And you said criteria for an artist. How many people have you guys had? How many musicians have you had on the deck?
I think Eddie last night said something like 350 plus or
Yeah.
400 plus artists.
Approaching 400.
400 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how many per session? Like how many musicians have been on that deck at one time? How many can you fit there?
I
Like,
think
if you
of
had
La Tribu Royale. They were like 11, right?
Was it
What?
that many?
I
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say.
Soja was like
Soja was a
11
lot
or
too.
11 or something like
It's
that.
like we squeeze them.
I was gonna
We
say.
squeeze
I mean,
them.
artists have had to sit down on the
Yeah.
patio
on the
floor
Mhm.
with their keyboard on their lap, to squeeze
that's
everybody
great.
in. It's pretty cool when
So
production. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that we just had Fortunate Youth on the channel, and they had brought extras that were on for like a song or two, but even like the core group was probably like 8.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Wow.
and then plus a couple extra. And I was looking at the cover photo from when you guys released the full set,
Yeah.
like a little while ago, and it's just like there's so many people there, like they're layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's like where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Like you're trying to pick out where's the people.
Definitely
are.
some
Awesome.
Tetris sometimes to
Mhm.
squeeze
Yeah.
everything in, right? But that it's cool, right? So it's like we can pack in a big band and it works. Like somehow that space, guys. There's just something very magical now about like I'm looking at the Sugarshack recording deck right now, and when you have 12 years of music played in this 10 by 10 space. Just I don't know how to articulate it, whatever your belief system is, but some that does something.
Yeah.
That does something. And so like music is in the wood
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
It's in the trees now. So it's like you can squeeze like 9, 10, 11 people in there and somehow the space allows it.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
accommodates it, right?
Right.
Like a Mary
And then you
Poppins
can
bag.
Yeah, exactly.
What
And then
a
you can
bag.
strip
Yeah.
it down to one person, one singer-songwriter and their acoustic guitar, and that space just the trees, it feels like it just
Hugs it.
and wraps around and creates this, bubble, if you will. And there's so much presence, and it's really hard to articulate. And I think part of the reason we're on the podcast today is because we keep wrestling with like how do we articulate,
How do we tell
Yeah.
people?
how do we
what
tell
it
people what it
is?
is when really at the end of the day the only way you're ever really going to understand and get it
Yeah.
is by experiencing it. So it's like right now as a business and company, it's our greatest challenge. Like how do we market this?
Sure.
But it's also like the very thing that makes it indescribable and so special.
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost, I think we're arriving to this point where it's like we're going to do our best to explain what this is and what it entails and what you can expect, but it's kind of like a trust leap.
Right.
Yeah.
You just have to dive in
fully.
and be like, I don't know exactly
Well-
what I'm getting myself into,
Yeah.
but let's go.
Yeah.
And
you
for what
know?
it's worth, to be able to pull that off, however many sessions you've had with 32 tickets sold, sold out shows every time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's saying something in itself. Because I will say, when I asked you, I was like, so who's playing? Julia's like, well, that's the whole surprise.
I was like,
That's
nice
right.
And I was
try.
like, oh, damn. Right. But that, was like, oh, okay, cool. And so it, number one, takes off the pressure of an expectation, right? I was at a huge concert recently, personal story, was really excited to see the artist. She was fabulous. The expectation and anticipation was so built up within me that when it was over, I was like, oh.
Mhm.
To the point where like I had almost like the idea of it took over the actual experience. This is directly the opposite.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
When you show up, you have no expectation,
Mhm.
which is kind of the best part. We get to give
Right.
ourselves a break as a ticket holder and be like, well, it is what it is. I'm here now.
up to them.
Yes,
And
it's up
there's
to
there's
them.
guarantees,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're gonna be getting 3-course meal,
For sure.
open bar,
Yeah.
9 to 9 the entire time, and a great musical set. You just don't know what it's all gonna be, and that's part of the beauty.
Right.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
forces you to be present too, because you
Mhm.
might show up and know the artist and be like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I'm a huge fan. Or be like, never heard of this person. And I just get to listen and discover someone new that I don't have on my playlist yet.
That's right.
Like that, I feel like in our day and age is so hard to do because we're so inundated with so much music, so much all the time that you don't, that natural kind of discovery that you guys provide here in person
Mm-hmm.
or on the channel is unlike anything else.
Yeah, just last week I was in the office talking to Eddie, and I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years, right? So, but there are still these epiphany moments where we're like, this is what it's about. This is what it is. And so I'm talking to Eddie, and I said, Eddie, I think I just had this like profound realization that Sugarshack experiences like reconnect people, and this hang in with me a little bit, but to like their inner child in some ways, because as adults we're really not surprised by things anymore, right? Like birthdays or whatever, Christmases or whatever, like gone are the days when you're like anticipating Christmas morning and you're like, oh my God, I hope I got this thing, you know? And so there's no surprise, there's no wonder, there's little presents, right? And so this is like one of the last remaining things in this world that you get on site and you don't know what to expect, and you're just so surprised about the experience you're having, the people you're meeting. You know, we don't have to like put in our emails no phones or whatever, right? People just show up and the environment and the community takes over, it takes them in, and people just naturally return to this sense of presence and childlike wonder. And they've described sessions like, who were some of the content creators that came a couple sessions ago? They were like, I just feel like I'm in a fever dream right now. Like, is this real? Is this happening? Did I step through a portal and like, where am I right now? You know? And it's just something that we don't get surprised anymore. And so it's just like an environment for as adults to like play again and be present with people and have conversations and build new friendships, right? In this very intimate space that, you know, is kind of like here and then it's gone. You wake up the next morning, you're like, what just happened? Where did I go? Like, what did I just experience?
How we felt this morning. Session last night. We had session last night, and we feel that way this morning for sure. But I think also, and that's such a amazing point that I haven't even considered before, but it's true. Like, I mean, sometimes at sessions, you know, you're going to be maybe sitting with people you don't know. And every single time, every session, I am walking by these tables, and these are couples who just met like an hour ago, and they're like talking, they're exchanging phone numbers. They're like, oh, we even had guests a couple sessions ago who like planned a trip with the people who they sat with at session. They planned a vacation with these people. So awesome. Isn't that insane? Like, that's the kind of community that's being fostered here. And it's like, again, to Bryce's point, like the lack of like needing to have an expectation of you or even of the space, like being able to put your phone away and just be in the essence of what's being provided for you, I think allows people to bring their guard down a little bit more, and they can then create that connection with people that maybe like if you went to a comedy club and you're sharing a table with people, it's just like, all right, I'll never see these people again. But because you're all experiencing this like really intimate, beautiful thing, it's like you can't help but open yourself up to like everyone around you. It's just the coolest thing ever.
The guard down thing is real.
That's a huge sell, honestly. We just had Kristen Corey, the CEO and artistic director of Gulf Shore Playhouse, on, and she mentioned that in full form. Like, I think, you know, we're all in this world of algorithms. By the way, there's no algorithm for you to come here. Like, nothing is catered to you, and everything is catered to you. If that makes sense.
Let's share this video.
But she spoke on that of like, in this day and age, almost like what you're saying in some way, that everything is so curated and plugged in, and we're all striving for an escape from that. I know I am, and I know people that I talk to are constantly like, I'm doing a social media cleanse, or I really need to get away from this thing. And while sometimes it feels like a chore, you have to like do it for yourself, this does it for you. And another thing I'll say too is that, speaking from a photographer, sometimes spotlights here, there's a spotlight photographer here, so that's another thing that you're guaranteed photos of yourself at the shack. So in the event that you're like Natalie and you come and you almost forget to pull out your phone because you're having such a good time,
And then I realized I'm here to do this.
Wait a second.
Right, it's hard. You like come, you're like, I've got this dog, I'm capturing content, but it's almost hard to because you're just like reeling from the experience of it all. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a photographer to capture it for you. Is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing to leave a space knowing that you feel fully fulfilled without taking out your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to do these days. It also, like you said, the guard down, it being such an intimate audience. Every one of the team members feels like a friend. Okay, you just all have that energy that you can just like be, and there's not as much adrenaline. Like when you think of a concert or a music festival, I don't know about y'all, but I get adrenaline, and sometimes that's exactly what I need. But most of the time, and in this situation, it feels like I said the opposite. It's like, oh, I could just like calm down, and I don't even have to put much effort in. Like you guys do it all. You're like, okay, here's this cooler. Help yourself to a beer. Here's the bathroom. Here's the water. Our bar is great. What can I get you to drink? Like, it's just like, okay. Like, I feel like I don't know if I've experienced it before. Like, even at a restaurant.
Right.
And
I don't know.
That's a good segue too, to talk about downtown of like, that's such a magical space. And I'm sure when you talk about reach, exponentially increased specifically this local following, but we have so many people coming from out of town and looking for things to do when they come to Southwest Florida, and now bar none, number one is Sugarshack downtown. Like they're coming and they're gonna go there, and so that puts them on the map of Sugarshack. But does it necessarily translate to the sessions? Like, you guys, look at that wall, there's a story to be told about this space.
Yeah, I think that's a big goal of ours now in this season. We're so thankful for the opportunity of Sugarshack downtown. It really is like this extension and expression to open up to the masses, if you will, like as an entry point to who we are as a brand, as a community. But that was birthed out of this.
Right.
It's been 12 years in secret in the making here at the original Sugarshack, and doing these Sugarshack experiences that opened the doors and the connections to see something like Sugarshack Down happen, right? So it's like, it is a really cool venue and bar, restaurant. It's the best live music. I'm biased because but if you want to go deeper and really experience the heart of what made that, this is where it is. This is the heartbeat. A Sugarshack experience and attending a session is the heartbeat. You're getting like as close to it as you can. And literally, because the people that founded it, created it, have carried the vision for it, you're here, you're eating dinner with them. You're having drinks with them, you're getting to know them and network and have direct access to the core team that is responsible for creating Sugarshack in Bonita Springs.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it too. You were talking about the things that are included in your ticket, right? So, a ticket to a Sugarshack experience is all inclusive. Obviously, you're on set at a live production music recording experience. You've got a 3-course organic meal, craft cocktail open bar powered by Chartreuse Craft Cocktail Lounge. Those are our homies. So some of the best cocktails.
Be careful.
Cooler. Yeah, be careful, right?
They're very good.
You get these Bluetooth headphones, so you have this pro audio experience. Record like you're hearing every note in detail, like if you're in a studio. You're on set at this video production. We try our best. We strive to provide 5-star hospitality to guests that are coming in. But what I think is hard to put on paper is that ticket also includes like direct accessibility to not a brand or a thing, but the people and the friendships. And so it's like you're getting dropped into these decade-plus long, 2 decades of a history of friendships and relationships. And people are so hungry for relationship and connection, and we drop them into this like incredibly rich community that's happening day in and day out. And then we have a session, we drop a bunch of people in, and it's like to the adrenaline thing, it is a very laid back thing, but it's almost like a shot of connection and authenticity. And they're like, oh,
for sure.
Whoa, like I'm not getting this at my local coffee shop or a concert VIP experience anywhere else or whatever, because they're rubbing shoulders with people that have like 20 plus years of relationship, like brotherhood, sisterhood, like family.
Right.
And people are just, they crave that, I think. And it's just one of those intangible things that is included in the ticket price, but it's hard to like articulate on a website.
Well, that's such a great point, because like I said, in 2019, when I popped onto the Instagram and saw that, I knew that those people were my people, but I didn't know how to get to them. And it's $375 GA right now price to get in, $350, $325,
$349.
So $349 for GA. I'm telling you right now, as a young entrepreneur and artist, I would have paid double that to get access to any one of those dudes, just to chat with them and get a little bit of advice for what they're up to. Like, it's just such an insane thing to be surrounded by artists like that.
Yeah. It's a huge thing. Young artists, like, it's wild. I have to touch on too, a part of your ticket price, which there's exclusive merch sold here at the Shack that you cannot get anywhere else. I will say we spent way too much money. They were like, Mother's Day is coming up, Father's Day, birthdays. Like, I think we probably like closed you guys out because we were at the merch table for so long. But I have to just also, your artwork, your design, your graphic design, your logo, every piece of design within the Shack outside is also intentional. Like, there's some woodwork going on. There's some metal weldings. There's so much outside of audio arts and music. Like, there's visual art in this brand and in this collaboration that it's just, there's not really a word for it, but it's just a vibe. Are we still saying that? There's there's so many layers of artistic flair and professionalism and a level of business that you guys have done so well. It's so inspiring. I think we don't say that enough. Like, this is such an inspiring, are we calling it a brand? Inspiring
community.
Yeah. Truly, because it's like to have a vision, a musician who's then also loves to do video and is really good at video and is like, I need to start a YouTube channel. Like, I know us personally, we've had those same things.
Absolutely.
And then you start, and then it's like, okay, now it's going to be like a physical place that happens to be like my backyard. Oh, but wait, it's getting too big. I need to move. And now I'm going to open this thing, and bring on all my friends to do it. And like, I don't know. It's very, very inspiring.
Yeah. A lot of what you're describing is what attracted me and Julia to this. There's, I think it's because at its core, the 5 original members, owners, are artists, so it's this mix. It's never been about, how do I say it? Like, we want to grow as a business and we want to continue to grow as a business, but it's never been like money first. It's always been about relationship, creativity, and arts, first. And then obviously in that, we want to see the team continue to expand and grow and our presence and our reach grow in that. But yeah, there are so many layers of art and creative design around, because that's just, it's what's flowing out of everyone naturally all the time.
Yeah. And how cool is it that we live in a place where there are, investors and there is money behind a dream.
Yeah.
We're lucky to live in a place like this where people get excited about this because maybe they weren't blessed with that gift and they don't have the natural artistic abilities, but they are obsessed with the arts. I remember Naples was always like that. Like we had in Southwest Florida. But now it's like, now that we're adults, I'm like, yeah, you want to invest, and everyone's in line.
Yeah.
Like, invest their time, invest their money, invest their, their listening ears on the show to learn more. I mean, it's just like, you guys are a magnet. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah.
What sessions are coming up? What are our dates?
The upcoming sessions are June 10th. We have a session. There's a handful of tickets left for that one. You can go online to sugarshacksessions.com, July 19th and July 29th. And then we'll take a little bit of a break for the summer, because if you're around here in Florida, it gets hot and rainy.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back full force in the fall. So When the weather gets nicer, the wintertime sessions, there's nothing like a December, January, February session when it's cold and we got the space heaters on out there, and that's a whole vibe in and of itself. So that's the other cool thing about it being an outdoor experience, is that being in the natural elements, it never gets old. There's nothing that's ever redundant about an experience. I think that's why we have couples like Jack and Daphne and Michelle and Larry that continue to come, because it might be the same structural format, but the drinks are always different, the food is always different, the artist is always different, the environment is different, and there's just always something fresh and new going on. The people coming in and out are different, and so it just never gets old. I mean, we've been doing this for 4+ years now, and there's never been a single session that I'm like, all right, it's session day. I wake up and I fire a text out to the group and I'm like, happy session day, everyone. Here's run a show and let's go. And there's always this anticipation and excitement that starts internally from each one of us. It's session day. And it's like, that's the tone that starts in the morning.
Totally.
And that just starts to build and build and build until doors open.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like, as we're welcoming people in, we're charged, they're charged. And if the band is charged, it's just like last night, explosive. The band last night, the drummer did like a kick flip in
on
the middle
deck
of a song on the deck. First ever. It was pretty cool, but like people are just like captivated.
Yeah.
And it's just,
true.
explosive energy.
And if I may give Bryce his flowers, he has created a
Thank God we have a pastor.
Team. Yeah, right.
Lead me all day.
But he has curated a team and an experience that, like you said, you can't truly find anywhere else. Like after 4 years of doing this together, we finally had our first hospitality team meeting a few weeks ago, because it just like flowed. Like everyone was flowing, everyone was doing their job, but now we really wanted to like create some concrete, like, all right, we're a real, like, not just team, but like this is a deep friendship that now we're all creating together, and that was one of the points he wanted to drive in, is like this level of professionalism that everyone naturally has. Everyone on team, it has like and this is not just hospitality and who handle the experiences, but like every single person on team has somehow fit into their roles perfectly. And I think that comes from the 5 original guys just being who they are, and their creative processes and how they made this entire thing come to life, and then bringing on guys like Bryce to like now curate this whole other level of their music channel that they started. And now we're like sitting here looking at a team of how many, we have like 7 or 8 people on our hospitality team now, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this was like some kind of divine thing, because everyone does their job so well,
and they want to be here,
and they want to be here.
That's why it's different
and they're
than a
long.
restaurant.
These are
They
long
actually
days,
want to be here.
right? These are long days. Session days are long days. It's
like,
we're
how are we
outdoors.
talking?
We're moving the whole time, and there is not one time I have ever left session where I'm like, what a drag. like it's like it's always like you are so jazzed up from everything. And again, to speak to Bryce's like place in all this, like he really created this thing that is now growing and blossoming in a really great way. And now again, everyone who's in their roles is perfect for their roles, and that just continues to unfurl this like really lovely thing we're doing here. I'm so excited to see everything that comes from everything that's coming. It's wild. It's really special. Really special.
Thank you, Julia.
For sure.
I don't know many host team training sessions where everybody is in the room crying.
We cried. Every single person cried.
Tears of joy. Tears of joy.
Yes,
like,
you were with an iron.
Just emotional.
Very special.
Everybody started sharing their stories and how they came and started,
and like
everyone
their guard
cares
is
a lot.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this. It flows over to the guests. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, you guys are building that. Without that strong team who's open and, friends with everybody, the experience would be different
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
if it had sharp edges and it was so systematic where you've had a million hospitality meetings and it's just like, no, it was time to get together, but we didn't plan it. Like that was kind of
right.
Then everybody else who's here like doesn't have to be on,
Right.
and they can just come hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
It
That
just
is so hard to do.
It speaks to the organic nature of the entire brand,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Everything is so built so intentionally.
Yeah.
And again, that like idea of like divine intervention or flow or whatever, everyone has arrived here and has helped has had a piece in creating what we're offering here, and you can feel it like as a guest, you can feel it that everyone gets along and everyone's like homies.
Yeah,
Like, it's
nomies.
true.
Right, like
yeah.
the
No
experienced
means.
guests that
Wow.
travel
Shout out.
from California that
Yeah.
get dropped in and they're like, this is a bucket list thing, or watching, video guys like Spencer and Justin, like, no, we need to do it this way. Okay, we're gonna, like figure it out. And they're like bearing witness to like 20 years of friendship,
Right.
in the moment of something. And
Yeah.
it's just a very rare, special
There's
thing.
nothing else like it
Yeah.
in my eyes on the planet.
Yeah. And we challenge you, if you think you know of anything else like it, please comment on this clip
Yeah.
because it's true.
Yeah.
Prove us wrong. So when you release those dates, I know we have June, July, but then come fall, how can the listeners and people who are new to the experience be on the lookout for that? Should they, obviously follow Instagram and stuff, but is there a place where you drop the dates?
Yeah, you can go to our website, sugarshacksessions.com.
Okay.
You'll see a tab there that says experience. And on that page, there's actually an email list that you can subscribe for. And you just plug in your email, and then that email list gets notified first. They get a head start before tickets even go live to the general public.
Nice.
So you can get information dropped directly in your inbox when new dates are released. Obviously, follow us on social media. But that's the best way. People that really are fans and want to get here, sign up for that email newsletter list, and they, get that head start. And I'd encourage you to do so because tickets move quick,
Great.
And if you want to see all past sessions, youtube.com, Sugarshack Sessions, subscribe. You can see the last 12 years of sessions that the guys have been doing, which there are some epic freaking performances on there. I mean, talk about like overlapping lives. Like the very first Sugarshack session was Frankie.
Oh my gosh.
Frankie Paulum.
I didn't know that. I have
the
chills.
very first who was like my best friend
I have
from
chills.
when we were in elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
What?
just like, so go back. There's a lot to be discovered on YouTube channel for sure.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Jay, anything else?
I think we
Any
covered all of it for the
burning
most part.
desires?
We covered all of it, and you just gotta come, guys. You just gotta come, check it out, and experience the magic yourself.
Yes.
Because you can watch a million Disney movies and never experience what the magic of the kingdom feels like.
Yes.
So that's all for now.
That's all for now. Have you been to a session though? Have you been to an experience?
Have you been to a
Hashtag.
session? That's true.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.